shit. I think we're starting 60 frames per second.
Good.
What's going on, everybody? Sean and Jason back with another episode of Class vs. Crass here on your Sunday night Nintendo Enthusiast Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Lapine, and joining me, the man stuck in the 90s, Sean Long.
Yo, what's up? What's
How
going
are
on?
you doing tonight? That's a nice hat.
Thank you. Got it from my friends at Gamer Hats.
What's on the side? Just the D-pad?
Yeah, just a D-pad.
Anything on the other side?
No,
Okay.
but I liked it. It's good quality. I did a video for RGT just to kind of give him some exposure, and he obviously liked it because he's sending me more hats.
Awesome. So you feeling better this week, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. You're saying some weird shit on Facebook.
You were
but-
sick. You were sick last week. You were saying some weird stuff in my Splatoon 2 Testfire stream, sir.
Okay, that was not me. That was my boss at the day job.
You were just loving
I got
everybody.
sent out.
You were sharing some love all over the place.
I messaged him and I was like, please get off my YouTube. That's business. He was like, why? You do business on my clock all the time. I was like, well, that's true, but I was like, I'll make you a YouTube. He's like, I don't have thousands of followers. I want thousands of followers. I was like, we'll get you thousands of followers. Don't worry, buddy.
You know what? Before the podcast, I said your mic felt off, and it still feels off. It's like you're a little bit more distant, which is strange.
Let me try something.
Okay. I don't think it's coming out of your headset. I think we're getting you from another mic.
How about now?
Whoa, there we go.
Now?
Oh, that's very different.
Better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay.
Everybody
It
agree?
was coming from the computer.
Yeah, that's better. All right, so if this is your first time joining us on Class vs. Crass, welcome to the 83rd episode here on Nintendo Enthusiast. Now, we usually have a format, but tonight we're going to do things a little bit differently because we got some controversy to talk about. But the usual format is we go over what we've been playing. That's where Sean and I discuss what we've been playing over the past week. And
Zelda.
that's going to be the answer for the next month. Then we go...
That's not entirely true, though.
No,
Oh, sorry. You're doing your thing.
It's not. Yeah, I'm doing the thing. Yeah, I'm trying to branch away from Zelda. It's hard, though. But then we get into the Nintendo headlines. And boy, do we have a ton of them from last week. We got the Splatoon 2 Testfire to talk about. We've got some controversy in the gaming world that revolves around JonTron and Yooka-Laylee. We're going to, weigh in on that because it touches Yooka-Laylee, which is coming to the Switch. And it's also a big topic. We like to cover things even if they indirectly affect Nintendo audiences and fans and gamers, because we're all gamers at heart. And then we're going to talk about, we also got the GameStop investor meeting. A lot of stuff came out of that. So, man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And then at the end, of course, that's where we reserve 15 minutes for you guys to ask your questions and topics. We call it the lightning round. It's also one of the best places to bond and get to know each other. All right. So without further what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Zelda or you want to talk about JonTron?
I was gonna talk about I Am Setsuna actually because I finally started playing it more.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Oh yeah.
The
you
one
were gonna
thing I
sell me
don't,
on that. Sorry.
the one thing I don't like is that it seems like the whole game takes place in a snowy area, and I was kind of hoping that it was gonna branch out some to like different locales, but from 8-Bit Eric did a spoiler-free review that I watched. Shout outs to Eric. And he said it stayed snowy pretty much the whole time. So that kind of disappointed me. But I really like the art style. The music is actually some of like, I don't know if it's just because the music in Zelda is like so not there, aside from a few tracks, but like the music is really good. I really like the game. It's a fun, it plays, you know, it's a straight-laced rules JRPG. Doesn't really do anything too crazy to break away from the norms. There are some gameplay deviations, but I really like the game. I mean, I paid $60 to import it, and I don't feel like I necessarily overpaid for it.
Cool.
It doesn't have, you know, the freaking Final Fantasy 15 graphics.
Who cares?
Or, you know,
Nobody
whatever.
needs
But I, you know, for a JRPG, the graphics are the last thing I really care about. I care about music, story, presentation, and gameplay, and then graphics is probably the fifth thing. So, good game, really good game.
Cool.
If it ever, you know, it's digital, it's only $40. I'd say definitely worth it. Yeah.
All right.
That's it. That's my little spiel on
what you've been playing.
on just I Am.
Okay. Well, let's talk about JonTron because I feel that that's a lot of things. It's in our headline. We're gonna get back to what we've been playing. That's usually to kind of ease us in, but I saw the chat was already in a lot of discussion about JonTron. So, are you familiar with what happened last week, Sean?
Basically, he said some stuff about immigration and et cetera, and gave his viewpoints on stuff, and caught backlash, and to the point of where Platonic, and he was supposed to be a character in Yooka-Laylee, and now he's not going to be one.
Yeah, that's a good summary. So yeah, he did some voice acting. Said some.
Yeah, he did some voice acting for a character.
And I guess the big debate is: is Yooka-Laylee going over? What should Yooka-Laylee be doing this? Should a political view matter? And should JonTron have said this? There's a lot of ways to look at this.
Well, I mean, here's the main thing that everyone needs to get through their head. Everyone keeps saying freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. I get that. Trust me, this is going to make me sound like a very, I guess, liberal person. I don't give, excuse my language, I don't give two fucks about politics whatsoever. I look at every situation and I see it the way I see it. The way I see it is this: JonTron and everyone else in the world can say whatever they want. You can say whatever you want, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're free from repercussions. So, for instance, if I said, you know, like, you know, those Jews, I don't really like them. Like, if I said that on Twitter right now,
and meant it,
I can say that. But I also work for a company that is owned by Jewish people, and there's lots of you know, Jewish people that work on the website with me as well. So while I can say that, I'm not necessarily protected with my employer. You know, if they decide, hey, we don't like what he just said, they're more than within their rights to, you know, terminate any sort of working relationship with me. So it's not about necessarily what he said. It's not necessarily about race wars and Donald Trump and immigration. What it boils down to is JonTron could have said, I don't like fish. I hate fish. Fish is disgusting. And the owner of Platonic could be someone whose father was a fisherman. And he says, you know what? I really don't like that. I don't think we're going to work with him anymore. And then that could be it. You're not guaranteed anything. So, right. I mean, he could say whatever he wants to say. Any YouTuber can say what they want to say. And then, of course, you get into the other thing of why are you talking about politics in the first place? Like I, even if someone asked me what my political viewpoint was, and let's say I had a strong political viewpoint, I would say like maybe a party. Remember when nobody gave a shit about what other people's political ties were and religious ties were? Nobody used to care about that. And now it's like the most important thing in the world. There's a reason why when you go to a polling station, you're in a little curtained area, from what I hear. I've never voted, but
Dude.
You're in a little curtain area so that, you make your choice. It's your choice. You don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to explain to anyone. You don't have to do anything. Like, it's just so crazy. It's really because of social media. Because, 15 years ago when social media didn't exist, you didn't know it. You didn't know your favorite actor's religious preference or political preference, and now it's just like shoved down your throat. It's like, piss off. That's not why I care about you. I care about you because I like you as a musician, as an actor. Like, your beliefs are your beliefs. If you feel like sharing your beliefs, awesome, but you're gonna alienate some of your fan base. So that's all that's all I have to say on it. JonTron can say whatever he wants, but if you're sponsored by someone, if someone is giving you money for anything, if someone is giving you a platform, an opportunity, and they don't like what you say, then they are more than within their legal rights to cease a business contract. Simple as that, man. A lot of kids are. A lot of JonTron fans are overreacting, I feel, because, even JonTron was like, I understand. Like, that should be it. It's done. Who cares? Move on with your life.
Yep. And I don't want to repeat too much of what you said. I think we pretty much agree here. What I'm curious about is what lines did he have in Yooka-Laylee? Because as far as I know, all of the voice acting is gibberish, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into
like all the characters talk like the old Banjo-Kazooie games, where it's just like.
Well, I mean, maybe he did a voice in that style. I mean, he has a very interesting, unique sort of stage presence voice. Very theaterish.
Yeah, so
thespian would be the correct word.
So I guess ultimately, I mean, it doesn't really matter so much what he's saying. It's just Yooka-Laylee or Plantronic has taken the stance of, they don't want to associate to someone who is vocal about their opinion and whatever JonTron's opinion is, right? And I guess, again, free speech, they are allowed, both parties are allowed to say what they want. JonTron can say what he wants, and Platonic can say what they want. But should Platonic have really, like, if I don't, like, this is up to them, and I don't really see what we gain much from questioning their decision. It comes down to Platonic didn't want to be associated to JonTron, to those views, but I really think it's a little bit excessive, and it comes down to a point that you bring up a lot, Sean, where you call our modern times social media, everybody is very offensive, and I think we had a discussion on a previous Class vs. Crass with a Battlefield 1 tweet, and there was a tweet saying hanging out with my boys or something, and I was showing like and then some people complained and said, oh, that's offensive, and then they took it down instead of just standing by the statement that, well, we put this out. There was no harm. It was basically a joke, and there's no one from World War I around anymore who's alive. So it's like, if you put it out, just deal with it. I don't know.
It's kind of different because the Battlefield 1 thing was obviously done by someone within the Battlefield 1 company. This isn't necessarily a Platonic person with these views saying these views. This was someone that was working with them, sort of like almost like a freelancer, I would say.
Right. Like and that's more so the reason I don't really understand Platonic's view so much, as JonTron was clearly a contractor here. JonTron does not represent Platonic in any way other than saying he worked on a project with him. And again, it's completely Platonic's decision to do what they want. I'm just saying, if I was them, I don't see what I would gain from that other than this massive controversy that's blown up.
I mean, even let me switch gears here. Controversy creates cash. I remember Kotaku said thousands of JonTron fans are unsubscribing. Shut up, you dumbass. He lost like 10,000 subs, which is piss in a bucket, and then he gained them all back, and then some. Everyone is talking about Platonic. Everyone is talking about Yooka-Laylee. All of these people are saying We want refunds, blah blah blah. The vocal minority is just that, the minority. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit about anything. If I want to watch a JonTron video, I will watch a JonTron video. Hell, we all still watch Mel Gibson movies, don't we? We all still watch that son of a bitch, and he's batshit crazy. Like, who cares? Who cares? You don't have to like a person to respect their craft. I think that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure Mel Gibson lost a lot of movie roles for his batshit ideas. People still go watch them.
Yeah. Sorry, I see Video Gamer is actually in the chat. She I extended an invite to her to come and talk Splatoon 2, so we might have a guest jump in soon if she's up for it. But back to this JonTron thing. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. What were you just saying?
I don't know.
Bad press, something. Oh, yeah, you were saying the consequences of JonTron losing a few subscribers, which was really nothing. But it seems actually the loser here is mostly Yooka-Laylee.
Yes.
Because, what is it? A lot of people are pulling their pledge, like they're pulling their support for the game in significant numbers, apparently. So
you watch those old Lethal Weapon movies, Jeffrey. Get out of here. Even if you watch an old Mel Gibson movie, you still watching Mel Gibson. Yeah, and that's a whole nother thing. Evidently, there's some sort of issue with refunds, et cetera, et cetera. But look, is this your first time on Kickstarter? Like, you don't get refunds. You know how many the one guy who went and got all that money and spent all the money on hookers and blow for the ant simulator. Did you get a refund for that? No. Like,
anyways, to see.
This is another reason why crowdfunding is stupid.
I'm done with crowdfunding, but we can save that for another topic. Like with this whole JonTron thing, I completely disagree with everything JonTron said, but I feel if JonTron lended his voice on a project I was working on, it's like I didn't hire you for your opinions. I hired you for your abilities, your skills, your talents, and that's what I'm getting out of you. I'm just saying personally, if I was in the situation as Platonic, I would not have made a big deal about it. They're allowed to do what they want. I don't agree with JonTron's view, but like it's, I don't know. It's making...
Jason's a racist, confirmed.
There you go.
I don't even know what he said. It was something about immigration and I don't know, but he's an immigrant, so that's what I don't. His parents were immigrants. It's stupid. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Who cares?
I mean, if people are really curious about his views, they can always go and check out the podcast or wherever he shared them. I don't share that view, but like this is making mountains out of molehills. Like they didn't need to do it. They could have just, I don't know. But how did this even break out? Like,
you know what it is? What it is? It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. They were screwed either way. So they probably sat in the office, got drunk as hell, and flipped a coin. And said, all right, let's see where this lands.
You think they were? Was anybody going up to Platonic and being like, hey, this guy's in your game, and he just said immigration's bad?
It doesn't
you think
matter.
So?
Kotaku, Polygon, they would have crucified Yooka-Laylee to the fucking cross. And you know it, because that's their whole mission objective, like in life.
To make controversy in the gaming world, because otherwise it's a happy-go-lucky place.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on from JonTron. We might. Let me see if Nia's gonna join us here. I'm gonna share with Link. So we got the video game.
Not after your racist viewpoints, Jason.
Oh, come on. I have more diverse friends or social circles than you, I'm sure.
No, I beg to differ.
I don't know. Maybe between the two of us, we cover every social circle. Anyways, on to the next topic. Until we got Nia coming in here, let's talk about what we've been playing. What have you been playing over the past week?
I am Setsuna.
Anything
Splatoon. Zelda, of course.
Ooh.
I just keep.
How are you coming along with
exploring.
That?
Yeah. I'm doing a lot of Korok seeds. I find myself doing.
What's your number at?
Yeah. It's getting up there.
Yeah. Like
60 and 70.
Okay, still haven't passed 100.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but okay, now you're still there. We got Nia coming in. We're gonna let her get set up.
I'm here.
You're there. Oh, hey Nia, how's it going?
I am so sorry, guys.
It's okay. You warned
Rise and
us.
shine.
You warned us. So
I did, because I work on weekends. I work like 12-hour shifts overnight. So, like when I get home, I am like so tired. So I tried to set an alarm and everything, and I totally slept through it. But anyway, I'm here.
no problem. Thanks for joining us so much, everybody. We got the video gamer with us, also known as Nia. Nia, is your
What's up,
webcam on, or
everybody?
are you keeping that off for the show tonight?
My camera is gonna be off today because I literally like just woke up.
Yeah, that's no problem. We cool with that.
I'm sorry.
All right. So Nia was actually planned to be a guest on our show for some time, but what better way to bring her on than after a Splatoon 2 Testfire weekend? Because Nia here is, of course, the queen of Splatoon,
Oh no.
at least in my friend circle. But
I try. I mean, I play Splatoon, but I'm not like one of those people who's like super competitive and like S+ rank and all of that. Like, no.
what is your Splatoon background?
Well,
You
let's
play
see. I mean, of course, I played the first Splatoon, and I played, pretty casually.
Yeah.
But I guess I play enough to where I've had enough experience with it to know like what I like about it, what I don't like about it, what I want to see in the second one.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it helps that we just had the Testfire for Splatoon 2, so
Yeah. Now, with your work, were you still able to get some time in with Splatoon 2?
yes, I had a chance to play, I think 3 of the play sessions.
Oh, damn! You got half
Yeah.
the sessions in.
Yeah, I had a chance to play what was it? Well, for me, it was like the 2 o'clock sessions and then the one that at 10 my time, but I think it's like 8 Pacific time and 12 Pacific. So yeah, those ones I was able to play.
That's cool. And Sean, were you able to? You said you got some time in, right?
Yeah, I played 2 of them. I think they were both 11 o'clock ones, 11 o'clock East Coast.
And where were you with Splatoon, like the first one? Did you play much of that after launch, or did you kind of fall off the Splatoon bandwagon?
Me?
Yeah.
I played it a good bit. I'd always check out the new content that they would add since they were adding content so much.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played it in a very long time, so it was sort of interesting getting back into it, but I guess we're not talking about what we thought about the game yet.
Go into it. Feel natural. Go for it.
I mean, honestly, the first match, I was like, what the hell am I doing? How do I play this? What is going on? But I mean, by the second match, like I was destroying like everyone, and like every game, like -1 that I played, I was either number 1 on my team, which either won or lost. Splatoon 2 is definitely maybe not it depends as far as calling it a true sequel, because there's still a lot of question marks with the game. Like, what's the single player like? How many maps are there going to be? How many weapons? All that sort of stuff. But as far as the graphics and gameplay, which is what you played, I actually think it feels better than Splatoon 1. It feels kind of more methodical, kind of slower paced. But I think that actually helps. It actually helps the game. I found the default controls to be like really good, and I think I liked it more than I liked the first one. Like, granted, you're going to get abilities and power-ups and all that stuff. So obviously, for some people the gameplay will feel faster. But I liked what I saw. I thought the graphics looked pretty good. I would have liked to see maybe more improvement, but I mean, I'm kind of in the school of thought where, if you would have said, hey, Splatoon 2 was supposed to come out on the Wii U, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was enough of a gap to where they could have, if, the Switch didn't come out now, it came out in the holiday, I could totally see Splatoon 2 being a Wii U game. So I'm not surprised that it doesn't look that much better, much like Breath of the Wild, much like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, these aren't actually games that are going to be taxing the Switch, what I'm saying, from Nintendo. So, but I liked it. I thought it was fun. The hour went by really fast, so yeah.
Interesting point you brought up. You were saying during the Testfire you were ending up in first place on your team a lot, like dominating.
Yeah. All the time except one game.
And when you were playing Splatoon 1 after the initial, I don't know if you played it a few months after launch, how were you faring then? Like, were you
middle of the pack?
Middle of the pack. Yeah, so I felt when Splatoon 1 came out, I was doing pretty good, often in first place and stuff. Then a few months after Splatoon 1, middle of the pack, bottom of the barrel. And now with the Testfire, again, back at the top, first on my team and stuff. So I don't know if it's just like there's a broader range of skill trying out the game. Nia, what did you think in terms of Splatoon 2? What were your overall impressions in terms of like where you were ranking and what did you like? Do you think that the game is bringing in enough new stuff? Did this stuff feel different for you?
Okay, so I don't know. I kind of felt like a couple of different things when I first played it. Like when I first jumped on that first time, to me, I felt like it just kind of felt like a lot like Splatoon 1. It was like, I mean, obviously it's the same foundation as the first game. And, that part, I guess, it's very familiar in that way. But when I played it more and I had my chance to play the second and the third session that I had a chance to play, I kind of really started to like notice the differences. Because I know, there's a lot of people who are kind of joking on like online and stuff, basically saying that Splatoon 2 is basically DLC. But I did feel some differences, to be honest, and it was more than just content differences. Like, of course, there's like the different weapons, and then you've got the different specials and stuff. But like the way that the game feels, the way that it controls, like I've noticed that I noticed the same thing that Sean noticed at first, that it feels like it's a little bit slower. And at first, I kind of didn't like that, honestly. I like the fast-paced, kind of like frenetic gameplay that the first one had. But I think that this one actually does have that same speed. I think the difference in Splatoon 2 is that what makes it feel slower is that you're actually having to manually pull up the map. I think that's what makes it feel slower. Like you're pressing X to pull up the map, and then you're finding your teammate or the respawn point or whatever that you're trying to jump to on your D-pad, and then you have to press A to confirm your super jump. So I think that's what's making it feel slow. Not saying that, Sean, whatever you experience is bad, but when I saw your tweet on Twitter and you were like, oh, it feels a little bit slow, and I was like, you know what, that's kind of right. But then I played it more and I was like, I think that's the difference, though. The way that you're playing it is slightly different than the way that you play Splatoon 2, Splatoon 1, because you no longer have that that second window, quote unquote, the dual screen experience with the gamepad. Another thing that I noticed with the controls is that the Inklings, like the Inklings control a little bit better, I think. I feel that the controls feel tighter, and you feel like you have more. Not saying that the first one didn't have good controls either, but with this one, you kind of feel a little bit more, how can I explain it? You feel like your Inkling is a little bit more agile. You could do a little bit more with the Inkling, like the animations seem a little bit more like, I guess, reactive, I guess what I'm trying to say, than the first one. And the jumping, like when you're jumping with the Inkling, like the jumping kind of feels a little bit, like heavier. I guess the Inklings feel like they actually have a little bit of weight to them in the second one. So I don't know. Those are some like slight differences that I noticed from the first one.
Did you guys,
and the second one?
Did you?
That's just me though.
I noticed that I felt that the ink was like really dropping fast. Now is that just me, or did you guys feel that?
No, but I did notice that the colors were a lot brighter than the first one.
Like overall, or just on the ink?
Like overall, like one day I decided to get on Splatoon 1. Like it was like many months ago after I hadn't played it for a while. And I remember, the game when it first came out, it was like super bright and colorful, but then I had moved on to play some other games, that maybe had like a little bit kind of like better colors and stuff like that. And then I jumped on Splatoon 1 again, and I noticed that the colors were kind of like they were still bright, but they just didn't seem like they kind of stood out as much. I don't know, maybe it's because I was playing another game that was like super colorful. But then with Splatoon 2, it seems like the colors, they pop a little bit more than Splatoon 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it seems like the character models and the way that the game, it's still looks like the Wii U version. Obviously, you know, it obviously looks like a game that may have started production on the Wii U and then they moved it over to the Switch. But it does look a little bit more like detailed. It looks a little bit more polished. Everything just looks a little bit more polished on this side. Even the menus and stuff, which I think look a little bit cleaner than the first one. Or maybe I'm getting too deep into this, but these are the things that I was actively looking for to see if I could notice any difference between it and the first one. Those are just things that
I agree.
I felt were different. Yeah.
I you're right. I mean, I think because before I played it, did you guys play the very first Testfire?
That's the only one I got into. Yeah, the first one.
Evidently, like a couple people like Obi and Trey were saying that like it looked bad and you know the frame rate was bad.
No.
Trey made a video on it and he was saying that it wasn't running at 720 and 720p talking about the first Testfire. And then I played the Testfire that night and I was like, what the hell is this dude talking about? And so he went back on it and he was like, wait a minute, this looks a lot different than what the first one was. So I didn't know if you guys had played.
Well, I actually recorded the first Testfire. It's unlisted on Nintendo Enthusiast. You can see my first playthrough, which is the first Testfire. You can see what the frame rate's like there.
I just thought it was more or less he was saying that it ran at less than 720p, and then when I was playing I was like, the fuck is this dude talking about? And I sent him a tweet and I was like, yo, I watched your video earlier, you sure about that? He was like, man, I don't know now, man, this looks a lot different now, this looks a lot better, I'm taking that video down. But even Obi had said something about it on his first playthrough. And so I was just wondering if you guys noticed a difference, because like I said, when I played it, I was like, oh, this looks pretty good.
No, I didn't know. What? No, that's not a thing that I remember or I recall. I would know if the frame rate was dropping or if it, I don't know. I didn't notice any of that. For the second Testfire for Splatoon 2, they said that there was frame rate issues, or was that the first one?
It was the first one. They were talking about the first one because the second one is the one that is the first one I got into, and that was like butter smooth. I was like, okay, yeah, this is good.
The only thing I noticed, so I did notice, like Enia, that there seems to be more detail in the levels. Everything pops a little bit more. I think they've got like more reflective effects going, but I noticed that the character models are still like choppy, just like in Splatoon 1. The characters they don't feel very polished. Like you still got like like jagged edges, which I'm pretty sure is from a lack of anti-aliasing.
Yeah, you know, Nintendo don't believe in anti-aliasing if it's gonna hinder.
Why not? Like, just use
That's
it.
one of the things that I was kind of annoyed about too. Is like, why doesn't Nintendo like anti-aliasing? That drives me.
People have been doing it for a decade. Like, get on board, Nintendo.
So you don't like jagged edge, Jason?
I'm not a fan of the jagged edges, no.
Meet me at the altar in your white dress. Why's the white dude got to make the joke? Shit.
Yeah, that's completely above my head. I'm not following it.
There you go.
It's an R&B like boy band.
You're not a real white person, Sean. We all know that.
Yeah. I don't know what
you just paint your skin.
But yeah, one person, Jesus, one person did say about the controls bringing up the map and the jump.
Oh my god,
the jump threw me off for like the first two matches.
Oh my goodness.
And then I was okay. I was okay after that.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna take some getting used to for me. Like, I press the X button so often trying to jump. I was like, I have to like reprogram myself to not do that.
But it's funny because the jump button where it is now makes more sense when you compare it to like the standard in gaming. Like nobody puts the jump button on X other than like Shadow of the Colossus or whatever.
Right, and don't forget that we just got off of Zelda, which also has the jump button on X. So
what?
Yeah.
It's on X. It is on X. Yeah, you're right.
It is on X.
It is on X.
You messed up. Like nobody's done that since the PS2 days. Come on, Nintendo. What else about Splatoon 2?
What did you use the standard controllers, the motion controls?
Oh, that's what I want to talk about.
Dock. I just went standard. I did the Joy-Con dock, motion controls, and I was beasting. And like I said, it took me, a match or two to sort of get the general feel, but I thought it felt pretty good. And I think part of that is because I used the motion arrows on Zelda, so it was kind of, you know, I was used to aiming and you know, tinkering my thing, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I was beasting folks.
I tried Splatoon 2 for the first time at a media event, and I had the Pro Controller, and it felt amazing. And I have to admit that going to the Joy-Con combo on the, whatever you call it, with the thing, the accessory, the dock, it felt like garbage. I hated it. I couldn't control the camera as comfortably as I wanted to. Like, going from Pro Controller to this was a huge step down. That said, after, you know, about 20 minutes or so, I did get used to it, but I still feel that you do have that edge if you have the Pro Controller. It just feels more natural. How about you, Nia?
The Pro Controller feels awesome.
Oh, so you have one. You have a Pro Controller?
Yeah, I have a Pro Controller. It feels like, I feel like the Pro Controller, I feel like that's the right way to play Splatoon. Mm-hmm. As far as the motion, I honestly didn't even know that you could turn the motion off until after the Testfire was over. Apparently, you have to press the plus button whenever you were choosing your weapon, and I didn't know that. So I just played with motion the whole time. But, you know, it's not a problem for me because even with the first Splatoon, I preferred the motion, actually, because my aim is like garbage. So I'm like, you know what? Motion, it helps me a little bit, I'll be honest.
I think motion feels better for when you got to do like the up and down adjustment. And I like the right stick for left and right.
Yeah, me too. I like that too. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that I did notice is that the default motion for Splatoon 2, anyways, it seems like the motion was a little bit more sensitive. I don't know if it's because they used like a better type of motion sensor inside of this controller versus what they used in the Wii U, but it seemed like it was very sensitive. You didn't really have to move your controller too much, like in any like exaggerated angles, just to kind of get the same kind of effect and feel that you did on the Wii U gamepad for the first one. Mm-hmm. So to the people out there who actually don't like motion, I could see how that would mess you up because it was a little bit more sensitive.
How did you like playing with, you know, a proper Pro Controller versus a massive tablet?
I mean, I adjusted to the Wii U gamepad, obviously, but it does feel. At first, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little weird because I have been so used to playing Splatoon with this big old gamepad, and you know, having my hands be so far apart. And then coming to the Pro Controller, which is like, you know, the standard size, I don't know, it kind of took some adjusting, having to, I guess, retrain my brain to play Splatoon differently. But it quickly goes away. Like, that feeling quickly goes away, and it, you know, easily becomes like really natural. So,
did any of you guys actually play in handheld mode?
I did.
I didn't.
You did, Nia?
And now I regret it.
I did try it in handheld mode, like the last day.
And how was that? I haven't.
It felt, well, I'll put it like this. I don't know, maybe it's just my personal, like, just me and my personal preferences anyway with the Switch. I don't really like playing the Switch portably unless the Joy-Con are actually attached to the system. Mm-hmm. That's just a preference that I have. But I did try it with the Joy-Con attached to the system. I tried it with the Joy-Con separately, and then I also tried it with the Joy-Con on the grip. And in my opinion, out of those three setups, the setup with the Joy-Con actually attached to the Switch itself felt the most natural. Mm-hmm. When, you know, like, you're using the motion to look up and down and stuff, like, it just felt really natural in portable mode. But you know, I tried the Joy-Con separately to see that if I would get the same, I guess the same feeling as like a Wiimote and a nunchuck. Well, you know, like how in the Wiimote and nunchuck days, mostly the Wiimote did everything, and then the nunchuck was kind of like a small like guide. It didn't really do a whole lot.
Yep.
But with the Joy-Con, it was a little weird because I don't know, maybe it was also the way that I was trying to use it too, because I was kind of trying to use the right Joy-Con as more like the, you know, the reticle and the camera, you know, look and things like that. And of course, you know, the left one to actually control the character. But I don't know, it was kind of weird. I didn't really like that too much. It didn't really translate that well to the separated play style, like how I would have assumed it to be, kind of like, I guess, like a Metroid Prime trilogy, the way that they kind of did the motion. It was just, I don't know. I don't think it was really meant for that. I think it was really meant for the whole controller to kind of work as one. But I think it feels natural though in portable mode. So it feels really good, and it doesn't really feel too different.
So based
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so based on the Testfire, you're gonna pick it up, or do you need more to?
No, I'm definitely getting Splatoon 2.
Yeah, what about you, Sean? Would you buy Splatoon 2 now, or do you need more info?
Nah, I mean it'll be legit. I mean it's not a amiibo fest. Like it's an actual game made by Nintendo. So
oh man,
yeah. I'm still looking forward to seeing what else is new. I personally, the dualies. Did you guys like the dualies? That was by far my favorite weapon.
The dualies.
No, I used the main standard default gun the whole time, and I was wrecking people with it, and I was like, okay, well, I don't need to try anything else.
Love the jetpack and the two guns, because you can also do a roll. You can jump to the side with the guns.
But when you're flying up in the air, that's just an easy target for me.
Only for snipers. You can't reach me.
Bullshit.
You can't reach me.
Dude, that was when I saw one of those people flying around in a little jetpack, I was like, hallelujah. And I'd go into the little inkling mode and swim up and get right underneath him and be like,
that's because those are idiots. You have to be careful when you launch. Yes, sir?
I was just saying, yeah, they're easy to kill.
Oh, okay. So 2 against 1. I'm not going to argue too hard. They were easy to kill. Like the ones I saw go up were easy to kill, but I don't know. When I would go up like in the corner where there was nobody, and you have so much range with that I could just snipe people from afar. So you get like the splatter shot and sniper combo is what I felt in one arsenal. That's me. Last topic. Let's go over the last topic real quick before we get into our lightning round. GameStop. So GameStop last week came out with their financials, and they had a lot of good things to say about the Nintendo Switch. And in other news, they're also closing a lot of stores because 2016 was a bad year for them, apparently. And we've also learned that 50% of their sales comes from non-actual games, but more like fandom things like plushies and all that extra stuff they carry. So yeah, they're closing 200 plus stores. But they're really saying that the Nintendo Switch and the Scorpio could really bring back a lot of people into the store. Let me finish all the news that came out, and then we can comment on it. And they were saying that the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One S did not do what they were expecting. I think they were expecting a little bit more sales from that, and didn't quite perform as they expected. So that said, impression, thoughts, comments?
Scorpio isn't going to do anything, period. Game over. The Scorpio is the most worthless thing. You have a system where you don't have any exclusive games, and all your exclusive games also go on PC, and then you cancel the one exclusive game everyone's really looking forward to. You put out Halo Wars 2 against Zelda and Horizon. Like, what is wrong with you? Scorpio's stupid.
Hang on.
Anyways,
we know your opinion on everything. Let's hear Nia's opinion.
Shut up. I'll be quick.
She's got a better voice than you two.
The main problem with GameStop is I actually made a video on this, but
Exactly.
they're not adapting, and that's the problem, because I can get video games from Best Buy for cheaper, brand new. I can get video games from Amazon. I paid $40 for Street Fighter 2. No, I paid $32 because I'm an Amazon Prime member, and I get it delivered to my house same day it comes out. That's an $8 savings than what I would pay at GameStop. GameStop has no program to match these new game prices. And although new game prices don't make up a big segment of their sales, it's mostly used game prices. But if I'm going to get a game, if I can get a new game from you cheaper, that means I have more money in my pocket. That means I'm more likely to spend more money in your store. And GameStop just doesn't understand that. So I'm not surprised by this. Between that and a lot of people are saying it's the rise of digital. I think that's BS. I honestly feel that it's stiffer competition and them just not realizing it. Like, I don't understand.
2016 was a shitty year for games.
Yeah, I mean, the Xbox One S and the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One S was a decent system because you got a 4K Blu-ray. The PS4 Pro to me was just pointless as hell. And like what did you have? VR gaming? Yeah, that VR really did great. You know, that's going great, Sony. Just make video games, dude.
Hey, they're selling out all the time. The VR apparently is always sold out. I think that was where did I read that? I read somewhere that they were, as the VRs come in, the PSVRs come in, they get sold out instantly.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Go ahead and call bullshit. I don't know if it was in that same GameStop report. But anyways, you're done. Okay, Nia, let's hear your opinion. What do you think about all this GameStop stuff?
I mean, I agree with Sean though. Like the reason why GameStop is going through all that stuff is because I mean, like the competition, you know, they're stepping up to the plate. You know, you've got Amazon. I don't really know. I'm not familiar with Amazon's deal because I know they have some new thing with games too, where you get like so much off or something like that. And then I think now Amazon is also getting to the point where they will try to ship things like, you know, the day that it comes out for you. It's supposed to be at your doorstep, something like that.
Yeah, Super Bomberman R. You get 20% off like the Gamers Club. So Ultra Street Fighter cost me $32 and it'll be at my house the day it comes out. That's actually how I bought
Amazon, right?
Yeah, that's Amazon.
Okay, yeah, because I have Best Buy, the Gamers Club unlocked, and they have a very similar thing where you get like the 20% off. And I haven't like, because of Gamers Club unlocked, like with my console games, I haven't had to spend like retail price or $60 on a console game in a very long time. And then, you know, they also offer these really like good incentives as well. Like they give you a reason to subscribe to their, you know, their little thing or whatever. But it's like with GameStop, it's like, I mean, maybe it's because like that's all they sell is games. They don't really have that leeway to give you like this big discount, but that's really what's killing them. Yeah, like Sean said, it has nothing to do with digital. I mean, people have been buying digital games for a long time, but it's really just the fact that they are slowly being phased out by like the Best Buys and the Amazons. I mean, that's really all it boils down to. And they don't have a way to kind of like compete against that because there's a lot of people these days who are using those services now. I mean,
and because I love to prove Jason wrong, Jason, not only can I purchase a PlayStation VR through GameStop's website, but within 60 miles of me, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There are 19 different GameStop locations within 60 miles of my podunk-ass town, including the one in my podunk-ass town that have the PlayStation VR in stock.
All right. Well, I'll see where I found out. Where I read my thing.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. I don't see people really rushing out to the stores for VR right now.
Hell no!
No. To be fair, I don't believe in VR. I was just relaying a story I read somewhere, which I really obviously need to source. I need to source my stories now before I come on Class vs. Crass, because Mr. Sean here is going to challenge me on everything.
It's probably some site that's trying to make it seem like VR is like hotter than it is, but it's really not.
No, I don't.
N4G website.
I don't believe in.
And then like with the Scorpio and everything, I don't know. I feel like the Scorpio is still kind of like a question mark. I'm not really gonna like, I guess, count the Scorpio out because a lot of gamers these days, they act like they're just so power hungry. So I guess we'll see if people will put where their mouths are.
You know what's funny? So people are these I feel we need to make a name for these power hungry gamers, the ones that judge games only on how it looks. There's a really interesting video out there on YouTube which compares Horizon Zero Dawn realism to Zelda Breath of the Wild. And while Horizon Zero Dawn, looks more realistic, the physics in Breath of the Wild are actually way more accurate. Like little details like a fire arrow in Breath of the Wild, when you shoot the water, it's going to get extinguished. In Horizon Zero Dawn, you shoot a fire arrow or a bomb arrow, whatever they have, in the water, and the water is going to set on fire. Like, there's so many like little details in Breath of the Wild.
I'm so glad you said that because I'm just happy you said. I'm happy you said that because a lot of people just don't want to be realistic about this. Okay, and that's not to say that Horizon is not a good game. I believe that it is good. I haven't had a chance to play it yet because, to be honest, I can't play any open world game around Zelda because like, I'm gonna always compare it to Zelda, so I have to give them some time to breathe a little bit, give them some time apart before I play that. But people keep saying like, oh yeah, well Horizon looks like this, like this, like this. I'm like, look, Zelda might not be the most photorealistic game ever, but the stuff that they're doing in Zelda is crazy. Like crazy. Like when I first, I'm sorry, this is a little
Go for it.
But
Vent.
when I first played Zelda, you know, I'm obviously coming into this game expecting it to be like previous Zeldas and your run-of-the-mill video games where you're kind of limited in what you could do. But when I actually realized the freedom that you have in Zelda, my mind was like, I couldn't wrap my mind around what was happening. Like I was like, is this really happening in Zelda right now? Like there was some things that like you were saying with the fire arrow, like the physics are so realistic. And then the fact that, like, say when you're in like the hot region, like where the Gorons are and all of that, and you pull out a bomb for the first time and it explodes and you're like, whoa, like this is crazy. Anyway, I had,
you know what? Somebody in the comments has said, let's all watch this video here together. And well, I'm not going to make you guys suffer that because that's going to take, but we're going to take a few samples of this. And I'm also going to give some credit to the person who put this together. So let's entertain this, shall we? We are Nintendo enthusiasts after all. I don't know if my internet can handle this. I hope so. So this video was uploaded. If you want the full video, go check out, let's give them some credit here.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm not gonna say that out loud, but there you go. What did they go? So they go over vegetation. I'm just gonna like browse real quickly through it. So like in vegetation, you know, you got Link that's walking through the grass and stuff, and it actually moves and reacts to your presence there. And in Horizon Zero Dawn, like even the grass, you don't even see the grass move around the character's feet or anything like that. And this isn't to knock on Horizon Zero Dawn. This is just to say that, like, you know, that you have graphics, sure, but you also have attention to detail, which are two separate things.
And Zelda has crazy attention to,
like, you could shoot an arrow from the top of a tower, and you could run for miles or kilometers wherever you live, and you could go and pick up your arrow eventually.
Yes.
So yeah, you can
plus you can't chop down trees.
Yeah, can't cut down trees. What's this? You can't.
I saw that and I was like,
And not only when you're chopping down trees in Zelda, but the way that you're chopping down trees, it's not like some preset, like, you know, cut line. Like when you're cutting down your trees in Zelda, it literally cuts in the direction you're cutting it from, the angle that you're cutting it from. Like if you're cutting it at some weird like angle, it's actually jagged when you.
Yep.
Crazy.
Look at this, setting grass on fire. You can't set grass or trees on fire in Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah. Little detail. And, you know, this is also, we're being fanboys a bit right now, but it's also to appreciate what you can do in games. And, you know,
it's because raw horsepower is.
Look at this. Stupid. Look at this. In Horizon Zero Dawn, you don't even get a splash when she's in the water. Like little things like that. And that's not.
I'm big on
creating snowballs in Zelda. Like what, guys?
Do the snowballs get bigger when you roll a snowball down a hill in Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
Oh, they do. That's great.
Yes.
And look at that. You can throw items in the water and they either sink or float depending on their physics.
Mm-hmm.
And then Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah, it doesn't matter. You toss that stuff in the water and you lose it.
Did you see the people who made the raft and then they put
airship?
The balloons on it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So. Like, it's just a crazy. I honestly think that like 6 months from now, like people will still be finding new shit.
Maybe because it's a physics engine where like you can literally do whatever you want.
Right.
There's no limitations in Zelda, like none.
No, it's awesome. How are you guys coming along with your completion rate of Breath of the Wild? Since last week, I added about 5%.
What is the completion rate in Zelda? First of all, what does that even mean?
So when you beat the game, I don't know if you've beaten the game yet, Mia, but when you beat it, you actually get a percentage that shows.
No, I know what you're saying. But what I'm saying is there's so much to do in the games.
Yeah.
Like who's gonna 100% that game in this year?
I'm aiming for it. I'm trying. Sean and I just discovered a new town this week. Like mind blown. Both of us beat Ganon. we thought we had done most of, seen the bulk of the world, but no, we discovered an entirely new town this week, which is crazy.
Oh, I would ask, but I don't want y'all to spoil stuff.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna spoil. Don't worry. All right, so you guys ready to get into the lightning round?
Yes.
All right, so we are running a bit over time, but you know what? When we have a guest, we break the rules a bit, so we're gonna go a little bit over time. We're not gonna rush you. We're not gonna rush you. Don't apologize. Even if you were here at 8, we would be going over. So lightning round, Sean, do your thing.
So yeah, ask questions in the chat, and we'll answer them.
Can you be a little bit more enthusiastic, Mr. Nintendo Enthusiast?
Ask questions in the chat, and we will answer them.
My ears are bleeding.
Beautiful singing voice.
Okay, thank you.
Got your guitar nearby?
I do. I could play some Lost Woods.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, that's probably really loud in the mic. I was trying to do Lost Woods with Sean before we started, but he's got it. I can't go that fast on Ocarina yet. Let's hear your Lost Woods, dude.
Hold on. I need a new cord. I'm about to buy one off Amazon. I haven't touched a rusty weapon in ages. Binding of Isaac is out. I pre-ordered it on GameStop and then it gave me an alert. I actually just bought Binding of Isaac like 20 minutes ago while we were doing this.
Oh, I bought
on Amazon.
I bought World of Goo. We didn't even go what I was playing last week. I was playing World of Goo. It's pretty fun.
Hold on. Yeah. Why is this cord such shit? Ask question. Where's Golden Sun? When Golden Sun for? I don't know. Messed up!
I won't laugh. I can't play the guitar.
Suck it. Do I like Starbucks? No, I don't.
It's overpriced.
Do you think they will show and release a virtual console at E3?
Well, their E3 is going to be big.
That's not bad. That's not a bad idea.
Yep. How is the gyro aiming in World of Goo? To be honest, I don't play World of Goo on my screen. I play it portable, so I do everything touchscreen. I actually don't want to even try pointer controls, but I heard that they work very well. 2D or 3D Metroid? Nia, what do you think the next Metroid's going to be?
3D.
Hope so.
Not real.
I hope that we get a 3D. I don't want a 2D Metroid. We've been waiting all this time for Metroid. I want them to go all out.
Metroid Other M2.
No,
I want a 4D.
I'd be okay with Other M2.
Actually, with Metroid Other M, it had a lot of problems. But you know what? That's kind of a good compromise, I guess.
The gameplay was good. Like, I think the biggest complaint was the story. So just give it a better story and keep that gameplay. I like the gameplay.
Yeah, like I guess it's a good compromise between 2D and well, I don't prefer first person, but it was a good compromise for people who like I guess both perspectives or one or the other.
You know, a lot of people are commenting on Virtual Console. Who really who is desperate for a Virtual Console right now?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not.
We've had 2 generations of Virtual Console now. Are you really that thirsty to re-download it again and to play through it, like beyond the 1 hour track? Sorry.
I'm not.
You're not, right?
I'm not. No.
No, neither.
Because the thing that killed the Virtual Console for me is knowing that whatever I bought on Wii U is actually not going to transfer over to the Switch. So I'm like, you know what? No thanks. No, I'm not doing this again for another generation. Like, no, I'm not doing it again. I'm not rebuying games again.
A bar in Breath of the Wild?
There's a bar in, I think, Gerudo City. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's making a scene. When is Madeline coming? It's still on Kickstarter right now, but they got more than enough money.
How do you get?
It's a Ghost of Goblins, like style game from Casual Bit.
That's fair catching. Virtual Console for GameCube games is something we haven't had yet. That would be a nice addition to the Switch, granted.
How do you feel about Peter Moore leaving EA Games? Bye, bye, bitch. I never liked you anyway since you ruined Sega.
I don't care.
What do I know about Purple City Bird Gang? I had the CD, man. I used to kill that CD. Jason, just don't pay attention. I hope Kid Icarus. What would you like to see? Well, see, one of the things is they're doing like online multiplayer or something in the virtual console stuff. I just, virtual console should be an afterthought.
Dude, is that a
it doesn't
price
need
tag
to be
on your guitar?
No, it's a it is when it was who did the inspection on it.
Oh.
It was done by Jizang Huang.
Shoutouts to Jizang.
Shoutouts to Jizang Huang. I just, I need new games. I'm at the point where I don't care about virtual console shit. Just give me new games.
Right, like virtual console is kind of like the icing on top of the cake, but it shouldn't be like the cake.
No. Give me more indie games like you've been doing all through March. Like the Switch's indie launch was really good, and they're following that up with some good ones. Last Thursday, bit weak, but we got some good games coming this Tuesday with Has Been Heroes and Snake Pass.
Yep.
Snake Pass.
I got. Oh, and here's another thing. Since GameStop sucks, is I don't want to go to GameStop to pick up my copy of Has Been Heroes, so I had it shipped. And of course, there's no same day shipping, so I get to wait a couple days.
Or you could just walk into the store. So a lot of people
I can't see people.
A lot of people are asking us about E3, and Reggie made his E3 comment. We're gonna keep a dedicated Class vs. Crass episode to E3 coming up soon. But there's a comment to video.
Of course, you're gonna say you're having big E3. We're gonna have a small E3.
Yeah, but PlayStation's not saying anything right now. You got Xbox who's saying lots of good stuff.
Somebody probably asked him, like, "What's E3?" Oh, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be huge. I know the people at E3.
Nobody's asking PlayStation this.
People.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Nobody's asking.
Who do you talk to at PlayStation? As Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer's still saying, "Yes, we love video games." It's like, okay.
Video gamer, who do you think will win E3, and who needs to win E3?
Okay. I don't know. I feel like who is going to win E3 just kind of remains to be seen, because you never know what these companies are going to do.
Who do you think won last year?
Who do I think won last year? Sony, because they didn't say anything. They just showed game trailers.
Of games that come out next year.
That's true. That's very true. However, people are kind of over...
I thought last year's
How
E3
much time do we have?
We have as much time as we need. We have as much time as we need. Let's hear it, Nia. Go for it. Here's
the thing. I think that Sony had a really good E3 last year, right? Because when they got on stage, they didn't say anything. They just said, "Hey, we got games." So they showed trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer. Okay?
And they had an orchestra.
So yeah, and they had an orchestra, and I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with, though, is how everybody is all like, how Nintendo desperately needs to get back on stage, but then all Sony does is get on stage and show trailers. But that's not a problem. You feel me? Like, you're saying that Nintendo needs like this huge grandiose presentation, and then you have a company who gets on stage and says absolutely nothing. Like, what is the difference?
What friends do you hang out with that say they need to go back? Have they seen the Switch presentation on January 12th? We don't need to go back to press conference.
That's the reason why they don't go on stage anymore. It's like, I understand why. I love the digital events personally.
Yes.
And I guess people feel like if you're not on stage, you're not quote unquote technically there. But I don't know. I think that's bogus. But anyway, as far as who I think should win or who should do the best, it definitely should be Nintendo, because they've got this new product in the market. And although it's a very appealing product and a lot of people seem to be taking to it already, they got to keep that momentum, because if you guys can remember back to when the Wii U first came out, like, it sold really well at first with the diehards for the first like 3 to 4 months. And then after the launch window, it was like crickets until like Pikmin 3 came out, which was like the next year almost. So with the Switch, Nintendo has to come to E3 and they have to show and prove that the Switch is going to have consistent first party or third party exclusive games from here on out at least until like the end of next year at the very least, I think, because they have to show and prove that they are here to bring the games, that there's not going to be a whole bunch of like game drops and stuff like how it was with the Wii U in the beginning. And they have to find a way to make sure that they can keep that momentum going, because people are loving the Switch. They're loving the idea. It's appealing. It's a concept that a lot of people they can understand easily. It's just behind the momentum, the momentum that they put behind it, really. So E3 is really going to determine that what that momentum is probably going to look like, at least headed into 2018.
What I'm scared of is Reggie actually went out of his way to point out the 3DS, and it's like, dude, leave that behind. It had its moment.
Reggie, though. Reggie. He's
happy birthday, Reggie, by the way. But like, dude, you got the Switch. The Switch is amazing. After you've gone Switch, you don't go back to the 3DS. It hurts the soul when you go from your 720p screen back to that, what is it, 240?
240p. But Reggie's gonna say whatever he feels like he needs to say to be, this PR puppet that he's become. But that's just my.
Well, he was like VP of marketing, wasn't he, before he was CEO? So.
Yeah, I think so.
He used to work at Pizza Hut.
Yes,
really?
he did.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So of course he's not going to come out and say, "Oh well, we're going to kill the 3DS after 2017 when the Switch takes off." He's not going to say that.
No, but he could just say, "At this E3, we're going to have a lot of Switch games." He doesn't have to go and 3DS.
What are you eating?
I
hear chip.
I'm eating these delicious delicacies.
Crisps?
They're not crisps. They're called Dorito chips.
You probably call them crisps.
Get out of here. I am not from over the pond. Does anybody in North America call them crisps? I do call my soda pop. I think you guys call it a soda. The two of you. You Americans.
But then again, to be fair, me and Sean kind of live in like the southern region of the country.
What part of the country are you in, Nia?
Texas.
Okay, yeah, that's really southern. And you're in, what, North Carolina, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's different in the United States as well. You got some places.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Pop.
I'm aware of the north-south difference.
But whatever.
I basically grew up next to Detroit, so I guess I'm as close to a Detroit American as can be. If I had to be an American.
No, if you were a Detroit American, you wouldn't be so white bread.
I'm a really failed Detroit American.
What part of Detroit? I've been
the
to Detroit.
The southern part of Detroit, over the river.
You know what? This is where I could see Jason in Detroit.
Motor City. Wait, what? Everyone in America calls them crisps? Do you guys actually know people that calls them crisps?
I don't know a single person.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Kirby.
I know PB Crisps.
Oh, he's just kidding. Okay, he trolled me. All right, next question. We're still in the lightning round, so do toss up your questions and talk. Sorry, Nia, I interrupted. Were you done with your E3 assessment?
I'm done. It's over. I'm done. Because I can rant about that, but it's whatever.
All right, how are you liking your Switch, by the way?
I'm really enjoying it, except for the fact that it doesn't have any features. But as far as the console itself, I really enjoy it a lot.
Now, what do you mean by features?
It's actually something. I'm waiting for the online stuff. I'm waiting for them to actually give us an activity log if that actually happens, because I actually want to know my playtime, stuff like that. I really want to see.
You can know your playtime, right?
But it doesn't give you an exact amount. It kind of gives you an approximation. It seems like it counts every 5 hours or something.
Oh, really? Is it that far off?
Yeah, I think so. Because every time I look at my Zelda time, it's it has either a 0 or a 5. So it seems like it's 5 hour approximations of how much you've played.
Really? I had not noticed that.
Yes, it doesn't give you an exact number on the Wii U and the 3DS, and that drives me crazy. I don't like that.
So we got Edward in the comments saying, "What is the green Doritos? Those are jalapeno cheddar. Just the right amount of spicy and the right amount of saltiness." Anyone use the sound effects in Splat 2? What do you mean, Bill?
You're talking about the menu.
Oh, the Easter egg in the menu?
Yeah.
Did you guys play around with that?
It was the voices or whatever from the first game.
Yes.
I mean, it's not that exciting. I don't know why people keep making a big deal out of that.
Here's a good topic by Playboy. How do you feel about some Switch games being more expensive? And I believe they're referring to the indie games or the multiplats that come out, but then on the Switch you get that nice little extra $10 expense.
Oh my goodness! Like there's like 3 games that we know of already that's doing that.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
It is. Do you guys recall which ones they are?
Let's see.
Rhyme,
I know for sure.
Rhyme, Minecraft Adventure, and that's all I know of.
Rhyme, the Minecraft game, and what game?
Rhyme.
I think it's the Tetris. Puyo Tetris. Yeah.
Agreed. It's complete garbage.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And like a lot of people are saying that the reason why they're adding that extra $10 is because of the cartridge cost. Like
that's garbage.
No,
that is
bullshit.
garbage.
So, I don't understand.
Because I'm always going to point to Has Been Heroes. They're selling it at $20, digital or physical. Why can they do it and no one else can? That's
a company that's losing money.
Isn't it also like a thing? Like if a game is like one price for a physical copy, it has to be that same price for like the digital copy. So like,
I believe that's what they were saying that Nintendo's enforcing, that you have to have the price match.
Is Rhyme getting a physical release on the Switch?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, you just shut Sean up. I like it.
Yeah, it's that's the reason why there's such a big deal surrounding Rhyme, is because they originally set out this projection for the Kickstarter where I think it was the PC, the Xbox, and then the PS4 version, and the Nintendo Switch version was actually not in their projections. And then they decided to go ahead and bring it over to the Switch. I guess it's easier to port, so it's like, it's easy for them to get it up and running on the Switch. So it's like it wasn't even really planned to be on the Switch in the first place, but I guess they wanted to have some kind of parity between the Switch version and then the other version. So they also decided to make a physical version for the Switch as well. And because of the cost of the cartridges being more expensive than disc, they're charging the Switch players more money.
Like that's
they were saying that they couldn't.
Sorry.
Yeah, and they're saying that they couldn't. They're saying that they couldn't price match, because if you set the price for the physical version, you have to also set that same price for the digital version.
Right.
But that's complete. Yeah. Go on. It's complete garbage, because what are you so afraid of? You're afraid of loot. Like if you're putting it at $10 more on the Switch, who's gonna buy your game? Nobody. All you're doing is pissing off all the Nintendo fan base. And honestly, if you lower it, okay, let's say all of this is really true and you are losing $10 for all your copies on Switch. How many copies do you really expect to lose? Because the Switch is a new console. It has the smallest install base of any console out there. So isn't it better to actually, get on the good side of the people that are actually playing on the go, that, hey, your game is actually going to be seen in public. Maybe there's a little bit of advertising potential there. Like, bite that $10 because, okay, it wasn't planned in your pre-production stage. Bite your $10. Let your Nintendo fans not get pissed off at you. Let them bring your game out in public so that more people are like, hey, what game are you playing? I want to pick that up too. Like, this is just complete frustrating, stupid logic, and pisses me off.
Well, first off, there's no way in hell that it costs $10 more to put it on a cartridge. We're talking pennies on the dollar here. Realistically, pennies on the dollar. So it's shitty business decisions, and I think companies are just like, well, hey, if this company can get away with it, why can't we? Like if that was the case, why wasn't Super Bomberman R $70? Because they had to put it on a cartridge. Like, it's retarded.
Do we know like what the difference is between mass manufacturing on disc versus a cartridge? Has there been any articles saying something about here? Like if there was much of a cost difference at all?
If you're a good business person, you don't make excuses. You create opportunities for consumers to get your product. You don't come up with bullshit excuses. And that's what these people are doing. They're saying they're putting it's so stupid. The gaming community is tighter than ever. very few people game exclusively on one platform. People move around. They play games all over because you can get so many games everywhere. So to basically say a big F you to the people who are on the Switch and say, you're going to pay $10 more to pay my game, like, very few people are going to swallow that. Anybody who has a little bit of like knowledge of what's going on in the gaming space are going to understand that, like, no, I'm just going to pick it up on Steam or any other console.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, I just get it elsewhere then.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people have that opportunity now. It's not like how back in the day where you only have like one console because like you're a kid and like your family doesn't want to get you all these consoles, you know? Like a lot of us are adults now. We have our own money and we can get more than one device if you want.
Exactly.
But I don't know, like the thing with the rhyme, like I feel that, and I feel like this is something that a lot of indies really just kind of need to like not do, because I think that there's so many indies out here that have like a lot of like crazy potential to be something more, but it's like trying to get the financial side down is something that they seem to kind of struggle with sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel that if the Nintendo Switch version wasn't in your projections initially, then you're just going to have to say, Nintendo guys, like, we really want to bring this to you guys, but unfortunately, it's not cost effective for us to give you a physical version. No, please accept the digital version only. And a lot of people will be like, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'll get the digital version because it seems like such a good game. Y'all wasn't supposed to bring it to us anyway, but you guys are doing so because you want us to experience the game. Like, I think a lot of people will be okay with that versus having to now, you know, have to decide if they want to get the Nintendo Switch version, a version they can take with them anywhere, versus getting like, you know, like a Steam copy or something. Like you're giving people that option now as an out for not getting it on the Switch. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that Rhyme, it's one of those kind of games that it really appeals to. And I don't mean to pick on Rhyme because this is not the only game that's doing this. I'm singling them out because they're indie and they're like new. You know, they're new to the wider gaming market and things like that. But like, this is a game that appeals to Nintendo dudes, and you're giving them an out to not buy your game on the Switch. I think that's just, it's not worth it in that.
It's creating a relationship with the consumer ultimately. And like right now, you put your game, if you're, let's say you're in the boots of Rhyme, you put your game on any platform, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, you're competing with so many other indies. You put that on Switch, you're competing against a handful of indies. Like the chances of someone picking up your game, assuming it's at the same price, is way better there. Like look at Yacht Club Games, which is just a wonderful company. Like I have so much respect for how they're doing their business decisions.
And even they are good with their financials.
Yes. And even they were going to do a parody release at one point of Plague of Shadows and Treasure Trove. And then last minute they're like, nope, you know what? We built our audience on a Nintendo platform. We're going to reward you guys. If you do pick up a Switch, you get to play Plague of Shadows before everyone else. Like, that's it. You're not screwing anybody over. You're just building that you're maintaining a good relationship with the consumers.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And the thing is, the Nintendo community is so unforgiving, dude. Like they better hope that people forgive them and just buy the game anyway, just for the sake of having it portable.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen though.
No.
Well, if it comes out on Amazon, I can get it for like $8 cheaper.
Like Nintendo's not even selling you on that idea. They're not like, if you buy Breath of the Wild on the Switch, we're gonna charge you $10 more because it's portable. Like, come on, get out of here. Get out of here.
They should have.
Yeah, but at the same time, if the whole cartridge situation really is that much more expensive than this, I feel like that's a cost that Nintendo should freaking bite for some of these people, because like you're forcing this media on people. You should kind of help with that, or at least like buy a bulk of them and sell them to people at like a good rate or something, so that, you know, a lot of people don't feel like they have to make decisions like this, you know, in the end, making decisions like Rhyme and then ultimately kind of messing over your own user base, because Nintendo, they have to take part in that too, building their user base and making their user base feel that the experiences that they're getting on the Switch are valuable. And if a lot of people are not feeling like that, there's going to be a lot of people off put by that. Because like, for example, with the Wii U, you had a lot of like third-party games that came out. They were either like broken, or they were missing content, or they were just kind of like very lukewarm ports. Like I feel like that's something also that Nintendo allows. Like you allow people to put things of that quality on your device. You got to kind of monitor that stuff a little bit better to make sure that your user base isn't getting screwed.
Right.
That's just me.
That's true too.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that we're not really talking about here. Are games more expensive on the Vita and the 3DS with cartridges?
Yeah, but also they weren't in HD. Like Vita is kind of like sub HD, but you can kind of like there's a little bit more wiggle room with the way that you make games on the Vita. And on the 3DS, of course, there's no HD at all 240p.
But still, it's still a cartridge versus a disc.
Yeah, it's not. You're not talking about the resolution. You're talking about the physical medium to carry.
Yeah, I'm talking about the physical medium.
Right, but also when the resources required to make games is heightened, and that kind of offsets the cost of whatever that you're paying for the physical media as well. I don't know. That's just how I look at it. Like your budget for your game, the game that you're making is higher, obviously, making it for the Switch versus like a Vita or a 3DS. So that kind of comes into play as well when making games, especially when you're indie.
Well, okay. Well, if we want to talk about indie, this was a topic that we were supposed to talk about, but we forgot. Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is coming to the Switch, and FDG Entertainment recently took to Twitter and saying, if this, like and retweet this tweet if you want a physical copy. And
who's that?
After they did,
Who's that? Monster Boy?
Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. After they made that tweet, somebody actually asked them, would the Switch version be more expensive? And they said no, it wouldn't. It'd be the same. It'd be identical price across all platforms. So, wow. I mean, is FDG Entertainment rolling in the dough? Is Monster Boy, a game that anyone besides retro gamers are really looking forward to? I don't think so. But
what's the Twitter account?
Just saying. Yeah.
What's the Twitter account? Monster Boy. Let's give them some love and retweet that tweet if it's not too late.
It's not. I retweeted it.
I'm gonna retweet out of the Nintendo Enthusiast account. What's their...
here it is. It has over 12. It has over 12,000 retweets on it.
So our little hundred's not gonna make a difference. But anyways,
no. There's the tweet. I put it in the chat. Retweet it, and then somebody asked them within the string of tweets, would no one has to say this. No one would say no to this, but if there's more expensive than the PS4 version, it'll be hard to justify either way. Identical prices across all consoles. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't give me that bullshit.
Some shady
stuff.
But
they're probably choosing to bite that cost too, though.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like with the Rhyme developers, it's like it makes me question the way that they're handling their financials. It's like there has to be some kind of way that they could have gotten around that, but they're just not exercising that financial muscle the way that they could.
Well, here's what they should have done, and it would have made perfect sense. And either go the digital route only on the Switch, or if you're releasing a physical product, make the physical product identical across all platforms price-wise, because a physical product should actually cost more than a digital download. I think everyone realizes that, because you have to have a physical medium, you have to have artwork, you have to have a box. And while that's not super expensive, it's still time-consuming, and that requires resources. Yeah. So you have your Rhyme. If you want Rhyme, what's the price of it? $30 or something? $40? It's
$30 on the others.
Okay, so $30 on the other. If you want a physical copy, it's $40, and then it's okay. Like, I don't think anyone would care about $10 more for a physical copy.
But here's the thing, that's something that Nintendo is not allowing, though. They're not allowing you to have those.
No. And what I'm saying is, if they don't want to make it digital only, to make it $30, make all physical copies $40, and make the stupid Switch version digitally $40 as well. So that way people are only half bitching. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, but that's the case with Rhyme, though. It's $40 on physical and it's $40 on digital.
Right, but what does it cost physical on the PS4?
I think it's $30. I think that's what
exactly.
That's what deal is.
That's what I'm saying. Your physical medium should be the same price across the board. If Nintendo is screwing people over with the digital medium because the digital and the physical have to be the same price, then that's a whole different ball game. But at least half of the people, if I go into a store on release day and I see a copy of Rhyme for PlayStation 4 and I see a copy of Rhyme for the Nintendo Switch and both copies are the same price, fine with me. But there's no reason that the physical copy on the PS4 should be $30 if a digital copy is $30, because digital should be cheaper than physical anyways. Like that just blows my mind that in 2017 companies are still charging the same price for a digital version of the game.
Yeah.
I need a cigarette. Are we done?
Yep, we're gonna be wrapping up soon. So any last questions or topics before we wrap up tonight's Class vs. Crass? Very good one, by the way. I love having this many topics to discuss.
I know. In the case of like big companies, I don't think it's an excuse. But I do think this is a legitimate issue that indies will be running into.
And they need to tread carefully because it's not always...
Shout out to FDG for keeping it real. Same prices across all platforms.
Shout out to FDG. Because this is the thing. Like, the word spreads. If you're treating one consumer base unfairly, you are burning a bridge with that entire group of consumers. So sometimes it's worth losing a few dollars, but getting a bigger audience. What else we got here in the questions?
Situation.
Hold on. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo all require the same price for digital and physical releases. They do this to protect brick and mortar stores. So then if that's the case, if it's required physical and digital be the same price, we're back to square one.
Yeah, let's not reopen this. Let's not reopen this. Basically, they're screwing over the Nintendo audience. It's BS. It's complete BS. Any Star Wars games for the Switch? I really don't think so, because EA has the monopoly on Star Wars IPs, and EA has pretty much said, screw you, Nintendo. And they're bringing one game out to the Switch right now, and they said, we're going to wait and see how the Switch does. So don't expect a Star Wars game at any point in 2017 on the Switch.
I honestly think FIFA might do okay, though.
I don't know.
Not if the
Overseas.
camera, not if the camera's as zoomed out as they're showing it to be.
But see, here's the thing that a lot of people forget is that there's no more handheld sports games. I used to play the shit out of games on my PSP, like basketball, soccer, all sorts of stuff. And then the Vita and the 3DS didn't get dog shit. Everything went to mobile. So there's a potential for it to be okay.
I mean, but how big is the market for mobile sports game? Like, is there a demand for that? Like,
it depends.
Might be.
Because the Switch technically isn't mobile. You can dock it.
I've never heard anybody say like, "Oh man, I wish I could play FIFA on my handheld." I've never heard anybody.
How many people?
I do it with 2K. I do it with 2K every year because 2K is love.
The thing is,
shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up.
2K is the thing with 2K is that when there's two types of games that I require good graphics: my basketball games and my realistic racers. So I'm gonna have to see something very interesting with this Switch version of NBA 2K18, I guess it will be, in order to pick it over the PS4 version.
The thing is, I think a lot of people the Switch is doing something I think a lot of people didn't realize. Like, the Switch is so convenient now. Going back to the PS4, the Xbox One, to me at least personally, feels like taking a step back, and it's just because I use the portability aspect of the Switch a lot. People who don't use the portability aspect of the Switch are saying, well, it's not that big of a difference. But I think that, FIFA, some people start bringing it to the office and they get their other buddies to get on board with that. It could be a game changer once they realize
I need a cigarette.
what it does.
Cigarette.
Just put a patch on your arm, dude. Break
Never.
the addiction. Quit the addiction.
I like being addicted.
How much money would it take to get you to quit?
I don't think there's enough money in the world.
Yeah, if I could get your Patreon up to $1,000 a month, would you quit?
Yeah.
There we go. Now we're talking. You should put that as a Patreon goal. We'll stop quitting at 1,000. You would be surprised at how fast you get up to that number. People care about your health,
I
sir.
don't care.
People care about your health. They want you to entertain them for many years to come and not die too young.
Hey, people liked me licking video games. All right, I need a cigarette.
Fine. So because Sean is addicted to nicotine, we're going to have to cut tonight's episode short to an hour and a half.
Short? An hour and a half.
Well, it's short. So thanks again, guys, for joining. Let's give a shout out to Nia. Nia, where can people find you on social media, YouTube?
You can find me at The Video Game Her on YouTube as well as Twitter. Yes, it's the same on Twitter as well. I talk a lot about Nintendo stuff because I know a lot about Nintendo. I talk about them the most. It's not because I'm like this rabid Nintendo fangirl, even though sometimes I can be depending on the topic. But yeah, so that's me, and I'm sorry that I'm late again. I feel like absolute garbage.
Don't worry about it.
So yeah, my bad.
Thanks for joining
make
us.
A joke?
Yeah, make a joke.
Yes.
CPT.
Oh, wrecked. I'm gonna let you get away with that since you're an honorary member of the Black community. Shout out to Sean. I think I told Sean that one day it was either Twitter or Facebook. It was like, I would totally invite you to the cookout, fam. You got an invite.
The cookout, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Why people don't be doing that shit? Italians, I mean, we have feasts, like Italian feasts, but never cookouts, like legit, just straight up cookouts.
You're invited, fam. You're invited.
I'll be there.
Damn.
All right, Jason.
Sean, where can people find more of you?
Everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
If it's on the internet, I'm probably there. RGT85, Enthusiast.gg, at SeanLong85, RGT85 on Facebook, almost at 1,700 Facebook likes.
Cool.
So, yeah.
You can find me everywhere at HeyJOfficial. That's the string on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. That's where you can find my stuff. Anything interesting coming out this week on Nintendo Enthusiast YouTube channel?
Well, hopefully the Snake Pass review. I guess Has Been Heroes. I don't know who else is buying it, if anyone's buying it. Codes, I don't know, but I more than likely will just do that as well. Maybe even The Binding of Isaac. Like I said, I bought that tonight, so why the hell not? Yeah, we'll see.
All right, sounds good. Thanks everybody for joining us, and as usual, keep it classy, as Sean would say.
Keep it crassy.
Nia, what would you say?
I don't know. I don't catch her.
Would you say keep it classy or keep it crassy?
I think I'm gonna side with classy.
Nice. That's why I like you. Awesome. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Sean, you can do your little solo now if you want.
Everything's unplugged. There you go.
Are we still live or?